Hello, I am Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We're at WashingtonPost.com/weather talking about a cloudy week, a fairly good week for rain chances, which are welcome. We need those, and temperatures are somewhat muted. They're somewhat under control. 70s could feel a little bit humid at times, so don't expect it to feel very refreshing, even though temperatures generally stay below 80 degrees for the most part this week. I'm Camden Walker. We're doing our 20-minute Sunday Sunset Live Q&A. Thanks for joining Ye, Srish, and Nikki on Instagram. I'm also on YouTube, on Facebook, on X. Hey, Chris Henry, I appreciate seeing you. Let me know if how that works there on X for you. Appreciate seeing you. Jim, Francis, Kenny, and Marla, and hi, Ruth Elisa. Good to see you there on Facebook, and Punksy as well. All right, clouds are animated below for the week. We have very few rays of sunshine, at least until hopefully Thursday we start seeing some rays of sunshine again. I don't think it will be constantly always overcast, but I think there's a very, very good chance more often than not. It's very cloudy this week. So I hope you've recharged with the when I was warning you during the forecast this past weekend that we were going to get cloudy. I hope you got outside and were soaking up those rays the last few days. And even here at sunset today, I think we had a few breaks in the clouds. Kenny on Instagram wishing for that rain this week. Let's get into that. It is going to be a little bit damper this week. Overall, it adds up to maybe, let's say, a half inch to an inch and a half for much of the region over the next 7 days. But it is hit or miss rain chances here above, and we hopefully maybe get a little bit of remnant tropical rains kind of dragged into our region at the very end of the week into the weekend. And yes, just to warn you, the weekend, keep your expectations kind of low medium for outdoor plans. Be a little bit nimble. Don't take any action yet. Confidence is still low as we get toward the forecast confidence for the end of the week into the weekend. So rain clouds could persist into the weekend, but it becomes a little less certain after maybe Thursday or so, where I do see a very decent chance for clouds and rain chances. Tomorrow starts with some showers, maybe some storms by Monday night, Tuesday into Tuesday night, and then shower chances are intermittent again Wednesday and Thursday. The question is, do we get some downpours and very outside chance we see maybe some patches of flooding, patchy flooding come by the end of the week. So we'll keep you posted at the Capital Weather Gang, WashingtonPost.com/weather. Good to see you, Nittany, Original Pizza, Christina, excellent on Instagram, and Joe Mix. Thank you very much. I think I've caught up on questions and comments on Instagram. Of course, anytime on Facebook, X, YouTube, or Instagram, you need to repeat a comment. It's fine to get it in front of me. Hi, Julia on YouTube. Good to see you. Rain chances throughout this week. Won't be a washout, won't be constant rain, but off and on rain chances indeed are here throughout the week, maybe into the weekend. Good evening, Peter. We've got April looking forward to some outdoor recess this week. Temperatures in the 70s should help with that. But April, just be sure, you have maybe some indoor plan B backup plans in the back of your head, just in case you need to take action. Watch radar with us this week. Exact timing and rain amounts are still, not the highest confidence, but we really have rain chances almost every day this week. But I would not be surprised that we see some, a few peaks of sun here and there, a few dry periods here and there. Ruth Elisa, Wednesday, I think we'll have more showers than storms. I lean showers versus thunderstorms. I think thunderstorm chances end kind of very early Wednesday morning into Tuesday night as it looks now. Let's see. Crickets, Amy, should be good until we get kind of our first frost and freezes in October and into early November. Alan is not happy with the weather on that emoji I see there on Facebook. And we've got Ruth Elisa, happy birthday coming next Monday. Good evening, David. Indeed, rain would be nice. And Steve, I think you're in Culpeper, right? Hello from Culpeper. Yes, no crisp, dry September weather just yet. So that brings me to our dew points this week. Could be uncomfortable at times, 60s, if not 70-degree dew points. We could get kind of, what is that, sticky, muggy, gross on that border there, the boundary here on our emoji scale. Come late Wednesday, Thursday, maybe early Friday, we could, see a little bit of tropical moisture brought into the region, kind of dragged in from the south, which is good for rain chances. We need them. They're welcome rain chances this week, off and on rain chances, but it does bring with it With increased rain chances comes increased humidity. These dew points will feel very sticky and humid at times by the kind of mid late part of this week, it looks like. So, with temperatures kind of behaving themselves, more likely than not, under 80 for much of the week, if not all of the week, maybe 80 on Thursday, low 80s, possibly if we see some peaks of sunshine again on Thursday, which is where a couple hours of sunshine becomes a little more possible again on Thursday. So, again, a cloudy week, intermittent rain chances, getting a little humid, but temperatures under control here in the Sand Sandemation, generally in the 70s this week. All right, what else do I have for you next week? Leaning above average temperatures and leaning above average for precipitation here below me. So that's decent news. We're not heading into a dry, wintry pattern just yet. If you're looking forward to kind of stringing out a little bit of autumnal feeling, pollen below me and tropicals update here above. In the next kind of, let's say, 48 hours, so maybe 2 days to 7 days, is when there's a pretty decently high likelihood we see this broad area of low pressure in the northwestern Caribbean enter into the Gulf of Mexico and maybe become organized. So Gulf Coast interests do need to watch that. And pollen is there. Allergy sufferers, grass is kind of taking the the crown, as I said in the PM update today. But across the board, we have a little bit of everything for everyone across all four categories, but grass is moderate. That's the relatively highest for our pollen right now. All right, Equinox post is out, so I hope you are enjoying the equinox, which was this morning. So fall has begun. The equinox arrived early this morning. So the seasons graphic here is above from the post. You can see more details by Justin Greiser with the equinox arriving today. We always like to do that as the seasons, astronomical seasons change. September, December, March, and June. So make sure you check it out at WashingtonPost.com/weather. And then drought conditions persist across the region and soil moisture. Other than some decent patches of moisture in central Virginia, Virginia overall is kind of the winner with less dryness, if not surpluses of soil moisture. You can see the drought does generally get worse further and further west of town you go. All right, let's take you back to my PM update there at the very top, forecast at a glance directly above me. And clouds are going to dominate this week just to keep your expectations low for sunshine levels this week. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. Our website's here, and we're doing 20 minutes Sunday Sunset Live Q&A, our weekly live chat here on Sunday evenings. Harry, JC, Sino, and Jenny, and Guy, and Mies, and La, thanks for joining on Instagram. I'm also on X, YouTube, and Facebook. All right, I think I've caught up on Instagram questions and comments. TJ, most kind of you tuning in there from YouTube. Liz, hello on Facebook. Chad, do get that lawn seeding done. That seems like a good idea. Cicadas were not expected this season. The broods generally stuck down into the tidewater of Virginia, Ruth Lisa, near the Chesapeake Bay. And that was the closest they got, if that, for the two broods that were hatching this past summer. Hey, Jennifer from Fauquier and George on X. I'm glad you got some thunder and rain. I know it was very good around 3 a.m., wasn't it? We have a little, I think we shared on Facebook, and I don't think we had a full article today, but make sure you check out our post on Facebook. We did a quick analysis on last night's pre-dawn rain and thunder. And Paul got zero point 0.8 inches yesterday and 1.5 over the last week in Purcellville. And I think you saw my drought review just a minute ago. We'll go recap that. We were on the air another 11 minutes or so. And Scott, we were watching the tropics that we will hit again. I'll review that one more time. But tropics we're watching in the northwestern Caribbean. Nothing rapidly developing as it looks now. Hello from Maine, Gary. Good to see you. Ruth Elisa. I think off and on rain is tame enough for you to keep appointments on Wednesday, in my opinion, Ruth Lisa. But your own personal risk assessment it's your own personal decision, right? With how much you can handle for certain weather conditions. But I don't see any severe weather or very heavy rain lasting all day on Wednesday, Ruth. All right, Yellow and KD and Michael, good to see you. All right, and we've got Danielle hoping for a dry Saturday afternoon, evening. That is in the cards. I just can't guarantee it yet. Forecast confidence goes down lower. It becomes lower at the end of the week and at the weekend. Whether or not we can kick out clouds and moisture from the region by then remains to be seen. Chase, no guarantee other than maybe some remnant rain moisture, tropical rains heading our way, maybe at the end of the week, into the weekend. But that's very low confidence as it stands now. Liz, good to see you. And Charlene, indeed, you had some good hail and downpours there in Glenville, Pennsylvania last night. And Ruth Elise is celebrating early on Sunday the equinox. Excellent. The fall equinox is here. And let's see, a bit of flooding in Old Town today from these astronomical high tides as the full moon phase lines up perfectly with our sun phase, the equinox. It's typically this time of year we see these very high tides, let alone sea level rise and climate change effects, adding a little bit more onto that every year and every decade. Let's see, we've got Drea. Optimist, you have water repellent boots for this week. Fantastic. And Ruth and Lisa, that is the question you're asking about derecho, that's an organized level complex of thunderstorms that travels over a long distance with a certain length and severity to the path of damage. And Donna, hello in Iowa, really good to see you. And Eric, I I personally think very low chances of seeing 90 degrees or hotter anymore this year. And Mike, welcome rain in the valley. David, we could see some rains, as I've been saying. Some tropical remnant rains could come in at the end of the week and the weekend, but very low confidence. And Charlene is happy about fall. And Amy, I typically don't expect fall-like weather until maybe after, Columbus Day, mid October into November. Gary, all is well here. Hope with you in Maine. And happy fall with Elisa. And yes, Paul, we don't have the fall weather just yet. And Sean, good evening. Gosh, mowing your lawn. Maybe wait till the end of the week. Like I see greater sunshine chances and maybe lower rain chances, maybe at the end of this week, end of the weekend, if you can wait that long. Ruth Elisa, let's talk about humidity. It is definitely around this week, so I hope I have not given any sort of expectation, even though temperatures generally stay, for the most part, below 80 degrees this week. Humidity is around, especially mid to late part of this week. We could see 70-degree dew points again. That is uncomfortable humidity. And again, temperatures, yes, remaining fairly tame and muted, so it's not like we'll have very high heat index values, but 70s could feel more comfortable if only the dew points were a little drier, below the 60-degree level in the 50s. Nice and refreshing, but maybe we get to that this weekend there in the greens. So fingers crossed this upcoming weekend we can kind of clear things out, get a little drier, fewer rain chances, more sun. That is on the table, but forecast confidence is a little bit lower. Looking into next week, leaning above average for temperatures, lean above average for precipitation. And of course, tropics have come up. I think Scott had a question. I just want to make sure everyone is just following along at home a little bit. Gulf Coast interests have time to watch this over the next 2 to 7 day period. That's when there's a high likelihood that this develops maybe into Helene. Right now, just a broad area of low pressure. So far, I have not seen, at least over the next 48 hours, it's not expected to rapidly develop, only kind of a moderate chance it develops. So going into this work week, it's worth watching. It is generally heading northwestward into the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, we could get maybe into the mid-Atlantic, some remnant rains dragged and kind of sucked into our region at the end of this week, but low confidence on that forecast. It would be great welcome rains, but we'll see. Pollen is kind of low across the board except for grasses. So allergens for spores, weed pollen, tree pollen, and grass pollen is the winner this week at moderate levels. So you're probably feeling it like I am with using your eye drops, nose spray, taking your pills. And the seasons have changed. As of this morning, the fall equinox has been rung in. The moment of the equinox has come and gone. As of this morning, we are now in the season of autumn. Here's a great graphic I've tried to preview from Justin Greiser's post below. Meteorological and astronomical seasons don't always quite align, but there's a great graphic, great explainers, all kinds of details as we go into our next season here in the DC area, in the greater Mid-Atlantic. And frankly, it's a change of season. That's the beauty of the equinox and solstice moments. Those are change of seasons for the entire world. So now the southern hemisphere is going into spring. We in the northern hemisphere are going into fall, into autumn. So find all the latest at WashingtonPost.com/weather, and a great picture from Acadia National Park there in Maine as well. So cloudy week animated here below for you. Forecast at a glance right above me, and then my PM update is there at the top. This is our weekly Sunday Sunset Live Q&A. I'm Camden Walker for the Capital Weather Gang. We're at WashingtonPost.com/weather. And I just want to make sure you're ready for clouds, ready for daily rain chances. I don't see a full overcast week, a full wet, rainy, washout week, but it's going to be more cloudy than not, for sure. It's going to be more damp than not. But rain timing, rain amounts, that's still kind of medium confidence at best. I think we're pretty darn cloudy until at least Thursday, but the question marks and forecast confidence goes down at the end of the week into the weekend when tropical moisture might try and, remnant rains try and move into the region, maybe at the end of the week, into the weekend. So do have in the back of your minds, take, no major action way in advance because we're going to have to watch things almost a day at a time by the middle end of part of this week. So just have plan B in the back of your head for indoor plans and a way to pivot your plans to the indoors this week, just with rain chances kind of intermittently peppering the entire week. Skywalker Beth on Instagram thinks it was a nice day today. I couldn't agree more. I think it was very decent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's see. We've got Don. No indication yet on how severe the winter will be. We should have our winter outlook. I want to say we get that out, I think around Thanksgiving. That's when we get kind of the latest and greatest data, seasonally speaking, looking forward into winter. And worst case, I think by meteorological start of winter on around December 1st. That's when we can select that dawn. It's a great question. And so, hello, Jenny. That is the same as Don asked. So, Thanksgiving to December 1st, we'll talk more about winter. Anything you see in the Farmer's Almanac is pure entertainment. I just want you all to know that. And the atmosphere does not give up the ghost for entire seasons, let alone looking that far ahead into 2 seasons, like not even the fall. We're looking at the winter. Too early to say. Too early to say. Scientifically speaking, it is too early. All right. Weather, Nana, JM, Lori, thanks for tuning in on Instagram. And we've got Charlene planning some great stuff with the rain there. Excellent. I'm glad to see all that going in. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook. And April, good to see you. You're most welcome. And Paul, fall foliage report. I can start doing, sure, I will start doing that next Sunday. Most of us are, along with the first frosts, it's kind of aligned for October into early November is the main part of the fall foliage for the Mid-Atlantic region. And winter precipitation forecast, Lewis, comes out closer to Thanksgiving and the beginning of meteorological winter, December 1. And glad I seeded the lawn yesterday. Yes, indeed, Paul. And we've got Jen. I agree. It can be a calming, cloudy, rainy weeks can be a little bit calming. And let's see, we've got Storm Chaser there on X. Let us know there in Panama City Beach what you're seeing. I love that you're following that remnant, the broad area of low pressure there from the coast, the panhandle of Florida. And Ruth Lisa, you're most welcome. Flight Thursday night, I don't think you need to take any, there's no clear signal on what Thursday night will bring at this juncture. Timing of rain and exact amounts of rain, the format of rain. Like, is it going to be tropical downpours or will we be semi-dry by Thursday night? Too early to say. It might have to be within 24 hours that you're going to look at that. And of course, the airlines have meteorologists looking at things and they'll push out alerts to you as well. And I've learned from experience to take advantage of those flight alerts. If they're asking you to, consider money to stay behind on a different flight, do consider it. I have made that mistake and thought, oh no, we'll be fine. Cool, Ruth Elisa, do your ride tomorrow. That's great. And maybe, Michael, we do see some tropical remnant rains by the end of the week into the weekend, but nothing to plan around just yet. Hopefully, some welcome kind of augmentation, additional rains at the end of the week into the weekend. All right, I think I've caught up. Mike, great question on when will the humidity end? It is rough. When I look and see maybe 70-degree dew points again this week, it is going to be a little difficult. So rain chances are often on this week, hopefully adding up to a half inch to an inch and a half. And to Mike's point, I think we've got to face it. It's like middle end of part of this week, we could see uncomfortable 70-degree dew points again. And those purples, they come just too close to us. Yep, they're kind of pulsing in and out of the area by the middle end of the week. And that goes along with the slight potential for these tropical remnant rains to kind of be sucked and entrained and dragged into our region at the end of this week, into the weekend. Remains to be seen, low confidence. But 60s, upper 60s to near 70-degree dew points, any way you slice it, there's decent confidence that is going to be uncomfortable this week. I am sorry to say. All right, and so with these dew points, I just want to highlight the somewhat good news. The silver lining is that they should stay below 80 degrees this week. So 70s are generally what's dominating the temperature regime dominant in my animation of these temperatures for this week. So that's the good news. No major heat index values to talk about, but next week leaning above average for temperatures. Luckily though, leaning above average for precipitation as well. And again, we'll continue to update you at the Capital Weather Gang at WashingtonPost.com/weather on the tropical system that may develop, and especially in the 2-day to 7-day range. So this upcoming work week, at the maybe middle part of the end of the week, we might have a tropical storm Helene on our hands. We'll see. A decent likelihood after kind of the next 48 hours pass. There's only a moderate chance in the next 48 hours, and then high chances for development roughly 2 days to 7 days into the future. And then allergy levels remain around, especially when the grass pollen, that's moderate. And what else do I have for you? The equinox, the fall equinox started. Fall has started. The equinox was this morning, and that is that moment across the world where the seasons change, astronomically speaking. And we've got a great graphic there broken down by Justin Greiser in our article at WashingtonPost.com weather. So do check that out. And I've gone over my 20 minutes, and I'll see you next Sunday for our weekly Sunday Sunset Chat. Anytime you need us, we're at WashingtonPost.com/weather. Amy, you're most welcome. Charlene, David, Scott, really good seeing you. And Mike and Paul and Liz and Don and Elisa and KS and Rome. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I think I did okay. And SJB, if you're still here on Instagram, there's a little bit of chance for some rain this upcoming weekend. That's what we've been saying. Unfortunately, the forecast confidence does drop at the end of this week into the weekend. We could see some rain. So let me put that forecast at a glance just above me for you. You can see chances dwindle a little bit at the end of the week into the weekend, but we can't say for certain if we can fully clear things out and get all those outdoor plans done with full guaranteed dryness this upcoming weekend. We can't say that. So prepare for off and on rain chances, a decent amount of clouds, potentially beyond Thursday. That's where confidence starts going down for forecast confidence. But we'll keep you posted at the Capital Weather Gang at WashingtonPost.com/weather. Deidre, Ruth, Lisa. All right. I'll see everyone next Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Camden Walker.